All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. So for this one, really, we don't really even need any video. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and I'm having some kind of trouble with my video. I don't know why, but
Hold on.
all it is, and it's something that we've already covered several times in class before, which is just the absolute value of numbers. So absolute value, all it means is going to be the distance from 0 to that number. So if it's like a -5, the distance from 0 is 5. So an absolute value of -5 would be 5. An absolute value of -67 is just 67. Absolute value of a +67 is still 67. So anything that has an absolute value, which are those two lines on the other side of the actual number, then it's just the number. So it's super simple, super easy stuff. So like down there where it says A and it says -8 and there's two lines right next to it, that one, the absolute value of -8 is just going to be 8. And then B, it says -1. The absolute value of -1 is just 1. So it's super easy. Every single one of these should be very, very easy. And it's something that we've covered in class several times. And so it's basically the same thing on 3 separate pages, but on page number 2, then all you have to do is actually plot it. So, and it's going to be adding some numbers together, so which we've done also in class. So let's go to page number 2. So on page number 2, the first thing that you guys have is you have 7 plus 3. So like 7 plus 3, all that means is just 10. And then you go down to the next one, -2 plus a -3. That one is going to be -5. So it's kind of like what we were covering in class before. So before, when we were covering, like let's say that you have, like let's say it's soldiers on a battlefield, right? And there's 3 people that go out there and they have a negative symbol on their uniform, and another 2 people have a negative symbol on their uniform, and they also go out onto the battlefield. All of them are on the same side, right? So you have everybody that's a negative uniform, they're going to just come together, right? So for that one right there, -2 plus -3, all that is just going to be a -5. So super easy, super simple. Then the next one, so number 3, it's 5 plus -7. So in that case, it's actually 2 different ones. So in that one, it's going to be 5 people that have a positive symbol on their uniform, and then you have 7 people with a negative symbol on their uniform. So in that case, it's people on 2 different sides, right? So that basically what they're going to do is they're going to fight against each other, right? So in that case, 5 plus a -7, 5 positive are going to cancel out 5 of the negatives, and then that's just going to be, or leave you with -2. So that's it. So the answer to number 3 is a -2. And then all you have to do on those number lines right there is you have to put a 0 somewhere in the middle, and then just add, like, if you're going to the left, it's going to be -1, -2, -3, -4. Just basically create your own little number line. And then if you go to the right of 0, it's just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. So pretty easy stuff. And then if you go down beneath that, subtracting integers. So like, let's say you have 3 minus 9. So 3 minus 9, it's the -9. Yes, it is a positive number, but because there's a minus symbol in front of it, it's just saying that it's like a -9. So 3 and then a -9. So all you have to do is there's 3 positive guys and then there's 9 negative guys. So 3 of those positive guys are going to cancel out 3 of the negative ones, and then what are you going to be left with? So 9 minus 3 is going to be a -6 on that case. So pretty simple stuff. Then 4 minus 7, on number 6, 4 minus 7 is going to be pretty easy also. So 4 minus 7. So the minus 7 is kind of like a negative 7. And then that 4 in the front is a positive 4. So if there's a positive 4 and a negative 7, then it's going to leave you with a negative 3. Because 4 positive is going to cancel out 4 negative, and then all you're left with is the negative 3 in that one. So then I'll let you guys do the rest on that page. Then on the last page, so on the last page, then we also have, so it says, use the number lines below to write an equation. So the very first one says, it has like a big arrow pointing to the left. So all that means is it's going to be, it lands on the negative 3, right? So it's going to be negative 3. And then there's also a positive 2. So then if you have a negative 3 and a positive 2, then all you have to do is figure out, okay, well, where is that going to actually leave you with? So it's going to leave you with negative 1. So a positive 2 and a negative 3, that'll leave you with a negative 1, because there's 3 negative uniform guys, and then there's 2 positive uniform guys. So that'll leave you out, like 2 of them are going to cancel out each other, and then that's just going to leave you with a negative 1. So that one's pretty easy too. So then number 2, number 3, and number 4, all of them are like that. You have to see where that arrow ends. And then you have to basically just add those 2 up and then see what it leaves you with. So if you look at where the arrow ends, like on number 2, one of the arrows lands on a 2, and then the other arrow lands on a number 4. And then, let's see, towards the bottom, it says, solve the following problems, sketch the solution on the number line. So negative 3 plus a positive 8. And then you have to figure out, okay, so if there's 3 negative and 8 positive guys, 3 of them are going to cancel each other out. So then you're going to be left with like a positive 5 in that case. And then you just have to plot it on the number line. So wherever, like put a 0 in the middle of that number line. And then same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or however far it goes to the right. And then if you go to the left of 0, it's going to be negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. And that's it. So basically all of these things, it's just covering stuff that we've already covered in class. So the absolute value one, that one honestly it's just super easy. I mean, you're just counting how far that number is away from 0. So the absolute value is going to be the distance from 0. So for that one, it's just any number that's in between those 2 long lines. It's going to be just whatever the distance is from 0. So if there's a negative 543, then, and it's an absolute value of negative 543, then all that means is it's 543 away from 0. That's it. And then as far as the adding and subtracting of integers, so that one you just have to think about it like those soldiers. So like what kind of symbol do they have on their actual shirt, and when you put them together, then what it's going to equal to. So if there's 5 negative guys and there's 5 positive guys, they're all going to cancel each other out, and it's going to be a 0. So all you have to do is just kind of, if you have to draw those circles like the way that we did it in class, then draw the circles. So draw, if it's negative 3, then draw 3 circles and put a negative symbol in every single one of those circles. And then for the positive, like let's say it's a positive 2, then write 2 circles and then put just a plus sign in the middle of those circles. And then you just cancel, one cancels out another, one cancels out another, and that's how you're going to do it. So does anybody have any questions?
For the paper, can we just like write it on just a normal piece of paper and then just write the question and the answer?
Yeah. So if you guys are don't have a printer or don't have access to a printer, then just write it down on a piece of paper. So just write it, just write like question 1, and then draw the number line if you have to draw the number line, and then actually draw out and, plot the point, and then put the answer is this for number 1. And then, honestly, I think that it's way easier if you download that Genius Scan app, and then you just scan it's
Doesn't
like
work for
taking
most
a
people.
picture of the problem, and then you can upload it from there. But for those of you that have been having trouble uploading or anything like that, you can either download the Genius Scan app and then take pictures of it like that, or you can actually just take pictures with your phone of the actual paper. As long as it's clear and I can read it. If it's like a super blurry picture, then I'm not going to be able to read it. But as long as it's a clear picture, you can take a picture of it and then just send it to my personal email. Or not my personal email, the school email. So I'm going to write it here in the message, but it's just dguerra@kermitisd.org. So I'll write it on the chat there. So that way you guys can write that down or take a picture of that. And that's it. So all you have to do is that. Does anybody have any trouble with anything, or have another question about the assignments or how to upload or anything like that?
I do. It's a worksheet from yesterday. I couldn't hear you because everybody was being loud and you were kind of cutting out. So I didn't understand most of it from yesterday.
Yeah, I just left.
Yeah. So from yesterday, I think we were covering, let me see if I can pull it up on my computer so that way I can.
It was rational numbers, integers, and whole numbers.
Yeah. Let me pull that one up so that way I can go over that real quick. So that one is also something that we've covered in class also. So like the whole numbers are just positive numbers. That's all it is. I think it also said natural numbers. So natural numbers is the same thing as whole numbers. It just doesn't include zero. For natural numbers, it's all the positive numbers except for 0. Whole numbers is all positive numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but whole numbers actually include 0. And then let's see. So integers. So integers is just whole numbers and their opposites. So all integers is just negative whole numbers. So -1, -2, -3, -4, all the way to infinity. It just goes on and on. That's in integers. Rational numbers, that one is going to be any fractions, decimals, the repeating decimals, like let's say it's 0.8 and then it has that line above the 8, the repeating ones, that's a rational number. If you have any fractions like 1/2, 3/4, 27/5, any fractions are going to be the rational numbers. So fractions and decimals are going to be the rational numbers. So the next part, like from the assignment number 1, the next part on that was asking about decimals and whether they're terminating or repeating. So terminating just means if it actually ends. So if it's like, if the decimal is 0.678 and that's it, it stops there, then that's terminating. But repeating is whenever there's like a line above it. Like let's say it's 0.9 and it's 9999999, like on forever, and you have to do that little line above, then that means that it's repeating. Same thing, even if it's 2 numbers. If it's like 0.18, 0.18, 0.18, 0.18, and it goes on forever, that's repeating. That's not terminating. And then remember, whole numbers, they always go in the middle. So anytime that, and we've done those questions in class, like we've had them on tests where there's like a small circle, then there's a bigger circle around that one, and then there's a bigger circle around that one. That all that means is that whole numbers are going to be in the very middle part, and then you have your integers that are around the whole numbers, and then you have rationals that are on the very outside part of that. and you just have to write it down as far as like just making sure that you're putting the whole numbers in the middle, then integers, and then rationals, and that's it. So that's that. So all you have to do, I think on page number 2, there was that. It was like a circle in the middle, then integers, then rationals. So all you have to do is correctly place all the numbers where they're supposed to go. So integers, again, integers is negative whole numbers. So negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whole numbers are just whole numbers. And then rationals are going to be the fractions and decimals. And that's it. I think the last page is the same thing also. It's just asking you which ones are incorrectly placed. So like in the whole number category, if there's a fraction or a negative number, then that's wrong. It's incorrectly placed. So it should only be positive numbers in the whole numbers, and then it should only be negative numbers on the integers, and then on the rationals, it should only be fractions and decimals. So any other questions so far? I know that somebody was asking when are these assignments due? So the assignments, like this one, it's going to be due today by 6 p.m. Honestly, this one shouldn't even take you longer than like 4 or 5 minutes. This assignment was probably the easiest one that I'm going to give. So as long as you turn it in by 6 p.m. today, I mean, that gives you guys about 2.5 hours to do it. I think that it should probably take about 5 minutes or less. So it should be pretty simple. For the other assignment, you should have turned it in yesterday. I understand all of this is new. Some of you guys were having problems with computer issues and things like that. So if you were having issues with any of those things, just turn it in today by 6. It was I think yesterday's assignment was a pretty short one also. I'm going to keep them pretty short. I'm going to try to keep it easy. I know that this is kind of complicated and trying to do it on your own, and you're only getting 30 minutes of a class, so I understand all of that stuff. So I'm going to be trying to do it as easy as possible for you guys. I'm going to try to help you guys as much as possible. Also remember, a lot of the times I can't respond right away because this is something that I'm getting like 100 emails a day. I'm getting like 50 or 100 comments on the actual assignments. I'm doing meetings with other teachers and principals and administrators, things like that. So, you know, I'm having to do all of these things all at once. So sometimes I log into like the Google Classroom, and then there's like 5 or 6 messages. Just know it takes, you know, it'll probably take me a couple hours or a few hours to even notice that there's a question or a comment on there. So I mean, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how all of this is going to turn out. But so far, I think everybody's been doing pretty good. I've had a lot of students already turning in assignments, emailing me assignments. So remember, if you can't upload it or if you don't know how, just take a picture. If you don't know how to use the Genius Scan, don't worry about it. Just take a picture with your phone. As long as it's a clear picture and I can actually read everything, then I can grade it. And I can actually say, okay, well, he got that one wrong, this one wrong, that one wrong. And then I can actually put a grade on the grade book. Grades are going to be due today. So that's why I'm asking for you guys to try to get this done by 6 p.m. Because after that, then I need to post grades. And this is going to be part of your average. I mean, so you guys need to be making sure that you're doing these assignments. The other good thing is that we're only going to do about 3 assignments a week. So it should be, you know, easier than actually having it in class, because in class we were doing like 5 assignments a week. This time we're only doing 3 assignments a week. And I'm making them pretty easy because I know that this is all pretty difficult for everyone.
Mr. Guerra, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Rena Rodriguez, Aaron's mother.
Yeah.
I do have a computer and the PDF file is not downloading. It is telling me it's not able to download it. So I was gonna see if there was any way you could send that to my personal email.
Yeah, I can do that. Just put the email on, or actually send it through the school status, and then I can email it.
Oh no.
Okay. I don't know exactly through school status, but on his assignment, I did privately message you as Aaron, but I did
Okay.
myself in there and put my email.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go and look at that, and then I'll send it to your personal email then.
Okay, I appreciate it very much.
Yep, you're welcome.
Sir, so how are we supposed to,
No.
like,
no,
if we're doing it on
no,
paper?
No.
How,
No.
no. How are we supposed to,
No.
like,
Very
show it?
chill.
Ray, just shut up.
How are we supposed to what?
Like, show it to you
What you gonna do, Ethan?
that we're done?
Okay.
iPhone.
So once you're done, then I mean, you can either do the taking a picture and emailing it to my personal email. You can upload it on Google Classroom, but that's it. So I'm gonna see when everything. Well, actually, at 6 p.m. that's when I'm gonna just get everybody's documents. I'm gonna download them, and then I'm gonna actually upload them, and I'm gonna upload the grades and everything. So, like I said, I'm gonna do a grade for yesterday's. I'm gonna do a grade for today's, and then that's it. I mean, so any other questions so far?
I have a question.
Yeah.
When is the next Zoom meeting?
So that one, we're having to schedule them once a week, or twice a week. But like, I guess we're gonna find out on Monday. They're gonna send out a new schedule for us. So I wouldn't know until Monday. Maybe I don't know if they're gonna send out the email like in the morning or afternoon. But I would say by Monday afternoon, I'll know. For sure, I don't think I'm gonna be doing one on Monday. So if anything, it'll probably be Tuesday of next week for the next one. I think I'll probably try to keep it at like 3 p.m. It seems like most people have the time to get on it, so I'll probably try to keep it at the same time, like at 3 p.m. But I'll let you know for sure which day on Monday. For sure by the afternoon, I should know. So any other questions on the assignments or on any of the like turning stuff in, things like that?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
What's
Alright,
the
guys.
assignment or whatever?
The stuff that he put on Google Classroom.
Yeah, so on Google Classroom, you'll see assignment number 1 and then assignment number 2. So you should see those on Google Classroom. If for whatever reason you can't see it on there or you can't download it, like I think somebody couldn't see that, just email me or have your parents email me, so that way I can just send it directly to their personal email, and then hopefully that works. And like I said,
What's it called?
if you have a printer, then it's fine. Yeah, so it's assignment 1
What's
and
it
then
called?
assignment 2. So yesterday I posted assignment number 1 on Google Classroom, and then today I posted assignment number 2 in the morning.
Oh, okay. So I just go to Google Classroom.
Yeah, so Google Classroom, you should have already been invited, so you should have a message or something on there. And yeah, you just have to log in there, and then it'll say assignment number 1 is uploaded, and then assignment number 2 is uploaded.
All right, got it. Thanks.
Yep. So any other questions on anything?
No, sir.
All right.
Mr. Guerra,
Yes.
I don't get the carnivore or the mammal one.
Oh yeah, so that one is just kind of like an example for you guys to know, like that it's more of an example to show you guys like, okay, if you're classifying something like a positive number, like a whole number, an integer, or a rational number, it's just an example of showing you, okay, you have to place it in this, like a whole number goes in the middle, integer goes on the bigger circle. It's kind of more of just an example. Yeah, I know it was kind of weird when I first saw it. I was like, okay, why are they talking about animals in a math assignment? But yeah, it's just kind of an example to show you guys that if that whole numbers are supposed to go in the very middle, integers are supposed to go in that bigger circle, and then rational go in the very outer circle. So it's just an example. You don't really have to do anything on that part.
Mr. Guerra,
Yes.
okay.
Do you know on the first paper where it says the whole numbers and stuff, and then it says the set of a positive number counting number starts with, and then it has a blank.
Mhm.
What is that? I don't get those.
So is that for whole number or which one?
The whole number, the integers, and the rational one,
Yeah, so whole
and the
number
natural.
starts with 0. Yeah, because whole numbers will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like all the way, to infinity.
Yes, sir.
For natural numbers, it's at 1.
Yes, sir.
Natural numbers, it doesn't include 0. Integers will always start at -1, and then I think what else? Rational numbers is just anything that's a fraction or decimals.
Yes, sir. Can you say the integers ones again?
Yeah, integers will start with -1.
So can I leave or no?
Yeah, so that's pretty much everything. I mean, if you guys don't have any other questions or need directions on anything, that should be it. And I'll try to figure out what's up with my, I don't know if it's the camera on the laptop that I'm using or what, but I'll try to figure that out as well. I don't know why I'm having trouble with it today. Yesterday it was working fine, so I don't know. All right, guys. So if there's nothing else, then I guess I'll see you guys next week. Remember, try to get everything done by 6 p.m. today. It should only take about 5 minutes, more or less. So just try to turn that in as soon as possible. If you can upload it, take a picture and then send it to my email.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys.
Peace.